and welcome back to the AI Marketers Playbook, where we cover actionable insights to help you leverage AI and marketing strategies in your business. I'm Audrey Chia, your host, and today I have with me Frederick Bonifasi, the founder of Talent FB. Now, Fred helps senior professionals land roles without applying online, often in under 90 days. And after moving to Singapore in 2011 without a job, he has built an entire career in recruitment and talent acquisition, reviewing over 150,000 CVs, interviewing 23,000 candidates, and hiring 16,000 professionals globally. Now, through Talent FB, Fred now coaches directors, VPs, and senior leaders using AI-powered job search strategies. His clients see up to 30% increase in salaries, job offers in weeks, and total clarity on their next move. Fred has also built his own custom GPTs, which we will cover later, and he integrates AI in every stage of a candidate's job search. Fred, we're excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Audrey. That's an amazing introduction. I would have not done better than you.
Awesome to hear that. Now, you mentioned that you are not originally from Singapore, but you're currently based in Singapore. Tell us a bit more about your backstory.
Sure, a bit of a crazy start. Before Singapore, I was in Morocco in North Africa. And I was finishing a contract of 3 years as an expatriate working for a software company. And one night with one of my friends, it was a crazy idea. We literally close our eyes and we point on the map a destination like randomly, and we click on Singapore. And then we're like, Singapore, Singapore, what is that? Which country? We didn't even know where was Singapore and what was it. So I did a bit of research, instantly fell in love with the country, and I said, okay, we need to go. So him and we said, okay, let's go. But then at the end of the day, for different reason, he decided to stay in Morocco, and I was the only one who booked my flight ticket.
Wow.
One way only, no return, because I really wanted to set myself up for success, and I didn't want to think about the return. And since then, it's been 15 years, and I'm in Singapore PR, got a family, two beautiful boys, and super happy of having made this silly move.
Wow, not many people can tell a story like that, Fred. I'm sure you're one of the few people who actually made it happen. And how has it been in Singapore over the past 15 years? What was your experience like? Especially you said you came without a job, right? How did you get started? How do you find your footing? Tell us more.
Again, another very interesting story, at least for me. When I came the first year, full of excitement, joy, happiness, hope. And I thought I'm going to get a job super fast. But my excitement went down quite fast. And after 6 months from rejection after rejection, I didn't have a lot of friends. It was really hard. A new culture, even though Singapore is very internationally open, so many ethnicities and different of culture, I didn't find myself in one of the box yet.
Yes.
So it was really hard on the first year. And one of my friend though, she really helped me on my CV, on the LinkedIn, on the cover letter. And she was telling me, Fred, that the more important is not what you've done in the past. The more important is how you tell your story and how you communicate about the value and expertise that you can bring to a company in the future. Because she knew that the perceived value of someone is not only based on what you've done yesterday, but it's also what you can do today and what you can do tomorrow. So if you emphasize your introduction and your presentation more based on what it will be like to be working with you in the future, rather than what it has been like to be working for another random company like a few years back, it doesn't give enough clue or reassurance to the company that you have in front of you to bet on yourself and to hire you and to give you salary. So that's that. In terms of pitching, that changed everything. And from that point, after the 8th or 9th month, I started to get interviews, job offers. I got a job thanks to that friend. And that friend, she didn't just help me get a job. She actually gave me a beautiful wedding, family, and two kids because I married her.
Wow. You know
Yeah,
what? She's the best offer you can get.
exactly.
Wow. And that's also how you went and decided to go into the recruitment space, is it? After your experience looking
Uh,
for jobs.
yeah, another very weird story again. I never really chose recruitment. Recruitment chose me because I studied marketing at school. I got a marketing degree from a business school in France. And then my first experience in Morocco as an expatriate was in sales. And I came in Singapore looking for a job in marketing and sales. But because I'm a social guy and I love to talk to people, somebody said you would be a great recruiter because a recruiter must be good in sales, must be good in marketing, and must be good at people. So I was like, why don't I try? Yeah. And I got a first job as a recruiter in an agency.
Wow. That is an incredible story. I think recruitment is something that really helps to unlock someone's full potential. And you spoke about perhaps building out processes that are AI powered as well in this process. We've seen a lot of ChatGPT prompts on LinkedIn to help people find jobs. Are they legit, firstly? And secondly, how do you actually use AI in this process?
Okay. It might sound crazy, but my first advice that I always give to someone who say to me, "Hey Fred, I've been looking for a job for the past 3 months. I've sent hundreds and hundreds of CV and somehow I feel ignored, or my skills are not appreciated in the market, or I haven't received any invitation for an interview." Every time I say it's normal. You are facing such a huge competition at the moment. It's not your fault. It's the job market who has evolved, changed,
Yeah.
but you have not. So I need them to understand that the same way of looking for a job from the year 2000 doesn't apply today and doesn't work anymore. So that's the first thing. They need to understand that. They need to understand something must change in their approach to the job market.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm asking them, put yourself into the shoes of a recruiter who is now receiving hundreds and hundreds of applications. Even if you are the top best genius in the world, you've been working with Elon Musk, you are from Harvard and you have 3 MBAs, do you really think that your CV only in a pile of 200 CV, do you think your CV will make a difference here based on the eyes of recruiters? No. So even recruiters now are using AI, are applying all this AI technology for screening, shortlisting, assessing via video technology, via audio technology, personality assessment, etc., to make sure that they got a short list of maybe the top 4, 5, 6 best candidates for a role. So that's why it's super important for your CV, instead of doing it manually, my recommendation is to select the top 2 or 3 job descriptions they want to target. They ask ChatGPT to inject the keywords of this job that they want to target into their CV before applying for a job. So in that case, all the CV and all the optimization from the job description they are targeting will be into their CV. And if you want to push the extra level, you can also add a cover letter that you can also fully customize to the job you want to target. It might seem silly, but a lot of people, almost like 90% of job seekers, are using just one single CV, and they use the same CV and they spray and pray.
Yeah.
They spray the CV like they apply to hundreds of jobs in one day, and they just pray at home for an email to come. Okay, you are invited for an interview. It just doesn't work like that today.
Interesting. I love how you said about working backwards, right? Because if the recruiters are using AI to look for keywords, then by you need to use AI to add the keywords in strategically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Makes sense. And what about those, for example, prompt packs, right? Where people are saying, hey, just use this ChatGPT prompt to optimize your CV. In your opinion, have you seen those prompt packs? Do they actually work?
I don't think there's one magical prompt that's going to be the answer to all your questions, or at least one prompt that will get you in front of these recruiters. What I suggest as well is quite unique in my coaching program, because when I tell them, I say, okay, you need to stop applying for jobs now. Don't do it anymore. If you want to have a job, don't apply for job. And they are like, why? Why are you doing that? What do I do then? So I said, because if you apply for a job, you're just going to be among the mass of and the volume of applicants.
Yes.
And in your CV, yourself, you as a person, has very little chance to be seen by your next future boss. Because you're going to have so many barriers at the entry. AI, screening question, knockoff, it's called the knockoff question, I think. Plus the recruiter, they all bias judgment. If you put a picture and they don't like your picture,
You're done.
a cup of coffee, maybe the button reject is easier for them to press.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately, we still live in a world where human bias is still there. So AI is one of the remedy, that's great, but there's still a human. So what I do is I ask them, go straight away to the top decision maker. So
Yes.
don't apply for job. If you see a job, you ask 3 prompts on ChatGPT. The first one is, can you please analyze this company, let's say company A. Can you please analyze company A last year challenges? And then you're going to have a few bullet points. Then prompt number 2, can you now analyze this company A current objectives? Because they all communicate about what they want to do publicly, right? Articles, blogs, and stuff. So these LLMs are going to fetch this public data information that is very important for you. And then prompt number 3, position me, and then you attach your CV and your LinkedIn as a solution for them, and give me 1 or 2 USP, unique selling points, that will make them interested in having me, because now we're going to create a presentation, couple of slides, and you ask ChatGPT to also do all the work for you. And once you have it, you can even go to gamma.app. I can do a demo for you later on. But Gamma on app, in less than 30 seconds, you already have beautifully designed slides that you can bring your value, expertise, strategy, roadmap, potential outcome, timeline, and you send that directly to the hiring manager. Who would be silly today to receive an email from a very ambitious and motivated talent on LinkedIn or via email with a strategy based on the job description that they are currently hiring? Of course, the hiring manager is going to talk to internally to the HR and say, the person has not applied officially for the job because they want it to be noticed, and I noticed them. So can you please start the discussion with them? And then you skip all the queue, you skip all the screening, all these knockout questions. It's fantastic.
Wow. Do you have any statistics to share regarding success rates of clients who did this?
Yes, absolutely. The success rate is between 20 to 30% success, meaning that every time you send 10, you probably have maybe 2 3 people who a hiring manager who are going to say, yes, that's very interesting, Fred, we can discuss about it, or thank you for sending this, I will ask the hiring manager to start the process, or simply somebody can say, hey, thank you for sharing this strategy. We are not recruiting right now, but I will make sure to reach out to you in the next 4 5 6 months if I know that there's an opportunity matching your skills. But the best thing to do is not necessarily to send them this presentation when you know that they are hiring. Because when you know that they are hiring, it means you can't really control the process progress. So maybe you reach out to them and maybe they already have a final candidate in the process. But let's say you do that consistently and you have your top 20, 30 target companies. If you reach out to them at the right time, you can't control the time, but that's why you need to do it consistently. But if you reach out at some point where they identify that one of the top leaders is leaving, but it's confidential and no job has been posted yet.
Yes.
Or they know that a new job is going to be posted and the company started to ask the employee to give referrals because they're going to get the referral fee. Or somebody there's a succession planning that needs to be done. Or maybe someone is going on retirement and we need to replace the person. So this hidden information are from what I call the hidden job market, which represents 80% of the whole global job market. Today, there's only 20% of jobs that are being advertised and everybody see, but there are 95% of the job seekers who are fighting for just 20% of the job market because that's the only thing they see. So if they are if they know how to look behind the water, so I call the iceberg analogy. I love to do the visible part and the unseen part, the job hidden market. If you know how to tap into this 80% of job by networking, connections, private events, headhunters for confidential search, etc., you are going to be part of the 5% most successful talent who get a job today without even struggling, sending the application and being referred and being introduced and presented for introduction.
And that's amazing to hear. I think it's also a strategy that I like to tell my clients when it comes to personal branding, right? Don't wait until you're looking for something, then you start doing personal branding.
Absolutely.
Start building it up. And I'm sure if you have a very strong personal brand where you're just posting, maybe even just once a week, right? Very consistently sharing your thought pieces, and then you pair it with your outreach strategy, that will make you someone who's definitely top of their list when they are trying to recruit someone.
I totally agree. And sometimes I find a lot of resistance from these people because they feel they only use LinkedIn when they're looking for a job.
Yeah.
But then I say to them, if you only use LinkedIn when you look for a job, then imagine the time you waste when you need to restart everything from scratch again.
Yes.
You should not do that. You should build your personal brand in parallel. So then when a company decides to let you go, you don't have to restart all your connection and networking and messaging from scratch. You just need to reactivate them and go back to some events and share value, propose help, offer support. And the principle of reciprocity, this is something that I love. The more you give, the more you receive. If you do that genuinely, if you offer free help to other senior professionals, at one point when you need their help the best, they will be there, they will respond, and they will help you.
Yes, definitely. You also mentioned catching the hiring manager's eye, right? So I've also known that for some folks who are looking for jobs, sometimes they don't know if they should write directly to the hiring manager or should they write directly to the head of the company or the head of certain departments. How do you make that distinction? What advice do you typically give?
Sure. So I'm going to share with you one of the stories that I got literally not less than 6 months ago. when I was finishing my contract with the Right Ship, it's a maritime tech company, I'm still human. So it happens that I reject application. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but I do mistake like everybody else. It's a human bias. So I rejected someone who a couple of days after reached out to the CEO of the company, I'm working very closely. We are in the same space, open space. And this person reached out so basically what happened is one day the CEO reached out to me and come to my desk and say, "Hey Fred, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you, blah, blah, blah." And he said to me, "By the way, do you remember this person?" And he asked me to check on the database. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, what did I do? What did I do wrong? So I check on the database and I say to him, "Yeah, I've rejected the application because in my judgment, I felt like this person didn't tick enough boxes to go to the next round, to the first round." And then he said, "Yeah, I understand, Fred, and I really appreciate your judgment. Thank you so much for your help." Having said that, though, this person approached to me and they proposed me a certain strategy and they made a lot of effort studying the market and proposing some ideas. So he told me that he really liked this proactivity and the fact that they did some work for him. And he felt like at least he could do is to offer a chit chat, at least with me at the beginning. And then he asked me if I could revise my judgment very politely. But what do you think? Coming from the CEO, will I say no? So obviously I said, "Yes, of course, boss. Let me call the person right now." And then eventually it happened that the person did really well. They didn't take the job. They didn't got the job at the end because we offered somebody else that brought a bit more experience in what we were looking for. But I remember that the person went until the final round. So you need to
Wow.
fight a little bit for the job you want. But it's not because you receive an email of rejection that you have to
Yeah.
say no. If it's a company you really want, you need to fight for this company. And in whatever ways, you
Yes.
would always recommend that because it happened to me. I felt stupid enough to realize the mistake I made. We all make
Yes.
mistakes. So my message to whoever listens to this, if you receive a rejection email to your dream company, don't give up. Continue, reach out to other people, especially the top leadership and senior people. Show your value, your expertise, build a case based on some research that you've made on the challenges and the objective of the company, and try to fight for your dream job.
Wow, I love the advice. And I think this is something that even I did in my very first job. When I was applying for one of Singapore's biggest ad agencies at that time, it was
Okay.
very hard to get in without a referral or recommendation. And I didn't know anyone, no contacts there, had no idea how to get in. I actually wrote an ad about myself and then I printed it in like a 3D kind of printout. I had it snail mailed like directly to the creative director I want and I said, "I want to work with you." And that got me an internship which landed me a full-time job. So I think for
Awesome.
anyone listening, it's really like what Fred said. How much do you want it? If you really want a job, I'm sure
Exactly.
you can put in the work to find a way to get there.
Exactly. It happened to me so many times that at the beginning of my career, I dreamt of working at Google. And I didn't know because I got a lot of friends who were at Google. They referred me, but somehow I never got the call from the recruiter. So at one point, I felt, okay, I've tried the normal route and I've always been rejected. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do a last crazy thing that maybe will get some attention, but I didn't know. So what I did is I decided to learn about the AdWords and AdSense products back then from Google. And I've done a very quick analysis on Football Club Barcelona because I'm a football fan. And I try to look at what are the top keywords that are being entered on Google search related to Football Club Barcelona. I've done a very shallow analysis with a few number, percentage and stuff, like nothing too serious. But I've done that and I propose some idea with not exactly a strategy, but more like an analysis or a benchmark. And on top of that, I recorded a 1 minute video of me talking about my passion for football. And I attached that and I sent not to the recruiter anymore, but this time I tried to look at all the top senior people at Google Dublin because I was still in Europe back then. I remember my data. I sent this to 10 senior people. I got 5 responses and I got 3 invitations for interviews.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah. And thanks to that, one of the HR reached out to me. I got 2 screening calls on the phone. They sent me a flight ticket to fly directly to Dublin in the headquarters. And they also buy me 1 night accommodation in a hotel. That was the normal process for everybody. So
Yeah,
it was not based on what I've done that I was privileged. It was
yeah.
a part of the process. But still, I benefited for that. And after the end of the 2 days, they selected other batch of candidates. But the way that totally transformed my job search from there. I
Yes.
found that what I've done was so unique that I always now need to apply the same technique for all my job at my dream company. I need to make yourself unique and to not do the same as everybody else.
Yes, it's like when everybody zigs, you zag. So how do you find that unique differentiator? But I'm also very curious to know, given that it's so competitive nowadays and everyone is using AI,
Yeah.
so what would make a candidate stand out in terms of just paper-wise? So for example, if somebody isn't sending that tailored, personalized invitation and they're
Yeah.
just trying to optimize their CV or cover letter, how would they make it stand out when everybody is probably using AI to do the same?
If you want to get attention, it's sad to say, but I feel like the CV is not that useful anymore. Your CV will still be used for the administrative process because we need to record the data, the communication inside the system from an HR talent acquisition perspective. But I really believe that you don't need your CV today to open doors for your dream job at your dream company. Like I said, use AI to make yourself visible enough to the eyes of the hiring manager. And your CV can be just a normal CV. It doesn't have to be the best CV ever. But what I love to see on the CV is when candidates are integrated some AI parts inside the CV. One example, if you have a blog and you do have a video of presentation about your blog on your first page, you add this link and you can even create a video on YouTube and you put the URL on YouTube inside as a link integrated to your CV. That's one thing. Another one, everybody can build an AI custom today, an AI custom agent on ChatGPT. So imagine you duplicate another Audrey Chia number 2 GPT and you ask the recruiter if it's late at night or because of a time zone or whatever, they need to get some more information about you and they cannot join you because maybe it's nighttime in Singapore or for any reason. Before even jumping on a call with you, they can already get your double AI agent answering some of the questions at your place. You can actually pre-download and pre-load all these questions inside some of the buttons that they're going to click. You're going to have a duplicate of yourself. That's just amazing. And another one can be if you are passionate about your topic and you love the audio format, why don't you open a couple of episodes and you turn yourself into a podcaster and you talk about different problems, industries, or challenges you encountered in your career, the pride and the joy that you have when you solve problem, or some of the testimonials or review you had in your past career. And again, you attach that and you put that into your CV. That's a fantastic way of standing out from the crowd and to feel like, wow, this candidate really embrace AI. And it's amazing to see how they evolve with technology today.
Wow, I think those are amazing suggestions. And the beautiful part about it is it's useful, it's creative, and it also showcases the fact that you're ready to embrace new technology and you're not shying away from it. And there are also ways for you to explore AI in so many different ways. Having said that, Fred, would you have a demo that you can also show our audience so they can see how it's actually done or what's currently possible?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen.
Perfect.
Let me know when you can see the screen.
Okay, yes, this is good.
All right. So basically, Gaia GPT, she's my AI custom agent. Hi there, nice meeting you. I'm an expert in job search, recruitment, and acquisition. I joined Fred's team because I really love his mission of helping senior professionals, with their job search, and I want to help as much as I can. Please ask me anything, and we'll do my best to help you too. Okay, so the first thing my clients need to do, basically, when they embark my program, they immediately on the module 1, they have access to this custom AI GPT. So they just need to click on Let's Start. And then let's see what's happening now. Welcome to the coaching program. You've made a big and bold step forward in investing in yourself. Okay, let's start with career clarity. There's a couple of questions here that you need to answer. And then once they receive the answer, they will give you a personalized job search strategy, unique selling points, the jobs, etc. So let's start by filling up this question. I already got that ready here. So I put my answers here. The next step is, okay, the profile snapshot. So senior recruiter, talent acquisition manager, 15 years, industry, key achievements, desired salary, main driver. So this is a recap of what I want. Now, career clarity, analysis, and suggestion. So they're going to give some pointers on what you're doing, where are you well positioned, and what you need to do, the extra step to reach your dream job at your dream company. So they say if you are not the problem, the system is, and you're stuck in job search 1.0. So you are outdated basically. And they say it doesn't work anymore, especially for senior role. Now all these senior roles are filled via referrals and headhunting, etc., etc. So you have more information. You can also get your USP, unique selling point. They also give you recommendations to target your next job, the reality check, why is it difficult, and the next step. So here, the next step, they say, audit your resume, layout, and then the LinkedIn. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my CV and my LinkedIn profile, and let's see what she has to say about it.
And what I like about this also, it's a step-by-step process, right? So it's going to guide you through,
Very
and
easy.
it's great that there is also that feedback of, hey, this is where you're at, this is where you want to be, just like how you would speak to with a coach.
Yeah, exactly. So I put my CV and my LinkedIn profile. Let's see now. Okay, thanks for sharing. So what is strong? Improvement needed. Okay, LinkedIn profile, your strengths, your action points. They also give you some idea about the headline, the about section, the future, the activity. Now the next step, and they say, give me a list of your top 10 dream company. So I do have my company here, and I'm gonna ask them now to tailor what I call a value proposition. So value proposition, it's a deck of a few slides that's going to analyze the company's challenges, the market, the industry, and to position you based on what you've done in the past and what you currently know as a solution and a problem solver for the company with a mini strategy. So we're gonna do that in just a couple of clicks. So step by step for your 10 company, you choose your company. So let's say here they took the company Spotify. Let's work company by company for quality over quantity. And then they say, find these roles on LinkedIn, head of talent acquisition, TA manager, or this type of job. Research the people on LinkedIn, and then you can see if you can search for the latest post, the comments, podcast, interviews, great for icebreaker. You see exactly what kind of activity these people left on LinkedIn. So then you know that if they are active on LinkedIn, they will be reactive in reaching out to you, or at least in interacting and replying to your messages. Because sometimes you don't need to spend your energy trying to reach out to someone if you notice that the last activity was like 1 year or 2 years ago on LinkedIn. You know that your chances of responses or engagement from that person will be very low. And then build a tailored value proposition deck, 10 slide maximum. They propose a deck based on intro, problem, unique insight, solution, experience. Okay, now let's start with Spotify. Let's see, build me a value proposition deck for the role talent acquisition manager at Spotify. And now we're going to, so they will do enough research to understand all the information about Spotify, obviously. And based on some job description that they have found online, they're going to propose ideas. And first of all, they analyze the problem at Spotify that happened last year or previous year. And then, so that's the number one. Number one is the intro. Number two is the problem. Number three is the unique insight. So TA teams are reactive. I build predictive hiring machines. I bridge tech plus human. And I believe in TA as talent marketing, storytelling that attracts, not chases. So that's the unique selling point. Then propose solutions for Spotify. Then relevant achievements, what I've done in the past that answers some of what Spotify is looking now. The employer brand success, technical leadership, etc. So now I'm going to copy this. Okay, value tech. All right. I copy this, and now I'm going to I will share this tab instead. Can you see gamma.app now?
Yes, perfect.
So gamma.app, I do have a premium account that is available for any of my member. And basically when they click on generate with just a simple prompt, they only need to click paste. They go to the edit prompt. You can choose more options on the left, but usually it's an amazing tool because you don't even need to do too much to tailor or to change what has already been done by default here. And yeah, and just voila, you have all your slides being created for you, beautifully designed with pictures, with nice flow. You have the strategic challenges, your objectives, your unique selling point, etc. And in less than 30 seconds, you can already download this document as a PDF. You go on LinkedIn, you find your top 2-3 targets of the people that you really want to get their attention, and you send that to them. You would be surprised that there's less than 5% of people who are creative enough to do this kind of approach, and not enough people realize how important it is to their disturbing them and reaching out to them and get their attention. Most senior professionals, I'm surprised, they say, oh, they are too busy, I don't want to I don't want to annoy them, or I don't want to discuss with them directly. But actually, this senior professional, this is what they're looking for. This is what they're waiting for. They want to be challenged. They want to be discussed with. They want to exchange ideas, especially for something that is as valuable as this, right? It's just incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
And like I say, 20 to at the best 30% of responses. So 1% out of three will definitely say, yes, I love it. Thank you so much for your time and for sending me this great presentation.
Wow. I think that was such a beautiful workflow, right? And it really aligns back to what the candidate can offer, what the candidate wants, as well as what the
Brilliant.
hiring manager wants to see, right? That proactiveness, that insight, what value you bring. And curious follow-up question, right? So if someone is, okay, now I have the deck and I have a tailored CV, should they send a DM to the person they are looking to chat with? What is the best way to do a very polite outreach without seeming too intrusive? Because it could be quite
Sure.
random to just, by the way, here's a deck for you.
So that's the beauty of my 3C system. It's a cycle called content, chats, conversions. And I've done that because I got inspired by a lot of other LinkedIn guru in the world. And it's also a psychological aspect. When you reach out to someone for the first time, we all have our defense psychological barrier at the top, at the max. So when we got a call from someone we don't know, when we get a message from someone we don't know, we always like, who's that person? What does he want? Why does he annoy me? But now, let's say you do have a seduction game 1 week or 2 weeks before you send what I just demo here. Let's say for 1 or 2 weeks, you stalk nicely the person that you want to get their attention. You can send straight away a LinkedIn connection, or you can start to some of the comments, some of the posts. You can tag them. You can, if they accepted your connection, you can even endorse some skills. Because if you do that day after day, you are going to appear on their notification on a couple of days before you make your ask, meaning that they will know you exist, they will know you, they will see your name appearing a couple of times. At one point, they will click on your profile and they will check you out. So if before that, you have fully optimized your LinkedIn profile and you are very clear with your CTA, with your hook, with your mission, with your headline, with your about, they will read your story. They will, I hope, and I like to think they will like your content and they will like your profile if you do it in a very nice, in a very professional way. So you will already be inside their brain. So it's like planting a seed step by step. So if you do that game 1 week or 2 weeks at the max before starting reaching out to them and say, hey, by the way, I know that we've been connected and we've been checking out our respective profile back and forth. I really like your space. I really admire what you guys are doing. I love your products, blah, blah, blah. And then you continue the chat and you say, by the way, on my free time, I thought of doing this for you. Don't really took me less than 30 minutes, but I just wanted to pick your brain and to send you this and hoping that maybe it will give you some ideas, or maybe it's already something you have implemented or not. It's based on hypotheses and assumptions because you are not in the company, you don't know what they've done yet. But the simple idea of proposing something for free is already huge for most senior professionals. And they will feel somehow that they owe you something in return at some point. Because you've done this work, you indirectly, you try to make them feel guilty that you've done something for them for free. And they know that in return, at least they have to open the document, they have to read it, and they have to give you a feedback. That's an excellent icebreaker to start any discussion with someone you don't know and to convert a cold stranger into a warm referral for future job opportunities.
Wow, I love that. And I love that you're not asking directly or making the ask directly, right? You're first warming them up,
That's
having
right.
more normal conversations before saying, hey, there's something of value. And I love that you're using Robert Cialdini's concept of reciprocity, give
That's
before
right.
you ask. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let's say they do that. Do they immediately follow up with, oh, are you currently hiring? Or if you're ever hiring, let me know what is the best soft CTA for someone.
Yeah, that's the part that is a bit difficult because as a job seeker, you can understand that some of them can be in a desperate mode. They are looking for a job and they don't really understand that this psychological game that you do can take time. Hence, the importance of doing this even when you are working and building this connection at any time. Even if you are currently working, you still need to do it from time to time. Because if you do it at the time where you are the most vulnerable, the more emotionally low,
Yes.
and you are really looking for a job, you are probably going to accelerate the process and you're going to feel a bit salesy or a bit asky. And
Yes.
the person can feel that as well when they read the messages. So it's not easy, I can understand. But if you do it properly and if you do it out of a comfort situation where you still have your job and you are not expecting something right now immediately in return, that's the best scenario that you can do. But for people who are actively looking for a job, I train them, I coach them, and I tell them exactly the tone of voice they need to use. I give them many prompts and examples, and we do rehearse together, making sure that it's going to appear value based
Yes.
and not very desperate based. Yeah.
Yes, and it's actually very similar to how a lot of business owners reach out to other clients on LinkedIn. You don't just sales pitch and be like, hey, by the way, I do all this. It's more of that
Or there's a
conversation.
lot doing that actually.
Yes. Oh, really? Yeah, that is
And
not
I
something you should
immediately
do.
I reject straight away.
So it's really important to at least warm up that relationship, have that
Correct.
conversation, and then smartly segue into the ask eventually, only at the right time. And what you said
Yeah.
takes a lot of nuance, a lot of training, right, for
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
master this skill set.
Yeah. And the ask can be as simple as you do the ask as soon as you have a first call. So you cannot ask if you have not got the person on the phone or met the person for a coffee chit chat first. Very important. You need to wait for the voice or physical interaction first. And once you discuss with the person and you establish a certain rapport and you break the ice and you build the start of a relationship, only from there you can ask the person, what do you think of my profile as a fit for your company in the next couple of weeks, couple of months? Do you think there will be any opportunity or do you think I would fit the culture fit? So you try to position yourself more as a value addition to the company and not just asking the person to be in an awkward position to say, hey, sorry, I like you, but we are not recruiting now. So I will just keep your CV and good luck. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes, and it's so beautifully nuanced, right? You want to position yourself as equal to not desperately looking for a
Exactly.
job.
Yeah.
And that allows you to have more game on your end. Now, maybe taking a step back, right? You have seen the whole world of recruitment, and of course, you're an avid user of AI yourself,
Yeah.
and you have probably seen how AI have changed many job roles and functions. So, can you tell us a bit more about how AI has changed the job searching landscape, what companies are looking out for now, and whether people you feel need to upskill themselves?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, and the industry has definitely changed since COVID and post-COVID. From 2021, 2022, this health issue became an economic opportunity for most companies, and I explain that because most companies realized that the fact that people were working remotely and they didn't need to come back to the office didn't affect the performance that much and that bad as all the economists and the people were predicting it. So they all realized that there might be an opportunity here to save a huge amount of cost, first of all on headcounts, and second of all on office space, office rent. So the whole world realized that more flexibility needed to happen post-COVID. And people who were used to work every day, 9 to 5 at the office, post-COVID, you remember a lot of resistance from all these people who wanted to continue having this work-life balance and being able
Yes.
to spend more time with their
Work
families
from
and
home, yes.
exactly work from home, all of that. So it's a he has come to a common agreement where people and company must find a compromise in finding flexibility on both sides. So that's why I feel the future of work now using AI is not just having more and more headcounts on a permanent basis because the company needs to generate more profits and they know that they can do more with less at the moment. And AI, actually, with the fact that all these companies, they let go a lot of headcounts, they could reinvest that money, that amount of money into systems, softwares, and AI technology. So now what they need to do, they need to train the rest of the staff and the employees at the company to use AI to enhance their capability to go faster, to go better, but with less people. So there won't be as many duplicates as what we used to have in the past. I know that Google, for example, had an army of 5 or 6 thousand recruiters globally.
Yeah.
And during the COVID, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think there were like 2/3 of the recruiters were being asked to go.
Wow.
Same for Facebook, same for Microsoft, same for Salesforce.com. A lot of corporate functions, they just disappeared because I realized that for the cost of a software on $100 a month,
Yeah.
they could actually go faster and go better than having to pay salary of so many people at the end of the year. So that's the unfortunate way of and the direction of the future of work.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense, right? Because everything will constantly change, and it's really up
Yeah,
to the individual to figure out how do you pivot with that change, right?
exactly. They need
And
to
how do you make
reinvent.
yourself relevant? So maybe
Sure.
what is like one final tip that you have for people, whether it's regarding AI, whether it's regarding job search, what is one tip that you can share with our audience?
Sure. A lot of people think that AI is going to take over the world, replace everybody. I'm a very optimist person. I like to see the glass half full instead of half empty. I feel like AI can definitely help you become a better professional. And I don't think AI is going to replace your job, but the person next to you who knows how to use AI is going to take over your job.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference. It's who will be able to use AI the best way as possible to be on top of the game, to fully embrace this new technology and to enhance them and having better performance as compared to you. If you don't jump on the train, then it's gonna be game over. So my best advice for everybody who is listening this, don't hesitate to invest in yourself, read books, listen to podcasts, subscribe to Audrey Chia, and be the best version of yourself, AI 3.0.
Awesome to hear that, Fred. I think for me, maybe one final takeaway I have is it's easy to feel fear, but whenever there is a challenge, there is also opportunity. So if you're feeling fear, turn that into a source of motivation. If you're being rejected, I personally have been rejected hundreds of times. Don't be afraid to just put in a little additional work to just be different, right? Reach out to people that you want to work with, talk to recruiters, talk to hiring managers, work with Fred even. I'm sure you'll gain so much value. Fred, thank you so much for your time. Now, where can our listeners find you and who should reach out to you?
Sure. Maybe two ways. The first one is like everybody, I'm available on LinkedIn. I can leave the LinkedIn link somewhere, maybe in the comments.
Yes.
And I also have a live webinar every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Singapore time. So it's a free webinar and everybody can join. So if you want to find out more about what I can offer and how I could help you transform your life and your career, I'm happy for you to take a booking and to join the webinar call every Thursday at 9 a.m. Singapore time.
Awesome. So, guys, if I were you, I would definitely be on that call. I'm sure Fred has a lot of amazing insights to share. So, thank you again, folks, for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the bell for more actionable AI and marketing insights. We'll see you next week. Take care.